Good morning, everyone. I want to thank everyone for joining us today to hear about how some of our small cities are approaching diversity, equity, and inclusion. My name is Ken Gibson. I'm the mayor of King City. I joined the council in 2006 after retiring, in 2008 after retiring from United Airlines and moving to King City. And I've been council president, and now I'm the mayor of King City, and my term expires in 2022. So it's a real pleasure to be here with everyone and to do this. This has been some very interesting times, and we have a lot on the table and a lot of things that we need to try to accomplish. What I'd like to do is introduce the panel, and I'm very honored to have all of you here today. We have Beatrice Botello, City Councilor from Newport. We have Richard Ledeby, Mayor of Madras, and Eric Neiman, Mayor of Philomath, and Candy Kanga Pakar, City Councilor from Metolius. So thank you all for being here. So what we'd like to do is to have each one of you give a brief overview of yourselves, brief bio, and then we'll get into some questions that we have. Why don't, Candy, you're kind of on my upper left, so why don't you go first?
Hi, my name is Candy Kanga Pikar, and my background is in healthcare. I am currently the Chief Nursing Officer at St. Charles Madras Hospital, and I have been a healthcare leader for almost 30 years. And I was born and raised in the Philippines and immigrated to the United States about 27 years ago. And it is my honor and joy to represent diversity in healthcare leadership. And also I'm proud to be a Filipino, and I'm proud to be an American citizen. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Mayor Ledeby.
Good morning. Yes, my name is Richard Ledeby. I am the mayor of Madras, and my background is in 1957. I also came from Sweden. My first sight of America was the Statue of Liberty coming across on a boat. It was a joyous sight for my family and me to come over. Not knowing any English, not having any family relatives, it was very difficult to get established. Being thrown into elementary school, not knowing how to speak the language. I definitely know the difficulties that people have when they come to this country and don't have any support. From there, I was raised in San Diego to 81, very diversified community with the Navy and just the locations of people. Moved to Oregon in 81, been involved in law enforcement, restaurant work, spent 32 years in corrections, just retired 7 years ago. Got convinced that joined the city council for 2 short meetings a month and be a part of our community, which those who are involved in our city know that it's a little more than 2 meetings a month. But I've enjoyed it. This is going on my 2nd term if I'm elected in November. I love our city. I was part of the board of directors for Let's Talk Diversity Coalition for several years, and we have a very diversified city, and I love it here, and that's why I retired out here. So thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Mayor. Okay, Mayor Neiman.
Hi, my name's Mayor Eric Neiman from Philomath. Philomath comes from the Greek word lover of learning, and so that's a great place to be a part of a panel educating people about what we're doing in small cities. I'm a native Pennsylvanian by birth, but spent some time in the Army, and then have been more recently worked as a business consultant for IBM, working with a number of companies. And then in my like my predecessor, I got convinced to sign up for city council here about 6 years ago, served 2 terms on the city council, and then became the mayor. And but I'm honored today to represent our efforts in the city on inclusivity and the topic of racism in small cities. So thanks for having me.
All right, thank you, Mayor. Appreciate it very much. Councilor Vitello.
Hi, everyone. I'm going to say hola. That's my first language. I'm Beatriz Botello, and I'm with the Newport City Council, and I have been appointed since last year. And it has been really good learning experience within the council, and I love Newport. I moved to Newport like 25 years ago because my husband, he was looking for a job. We both immigrants from Mexico, and he was looking a job in the fisheries. So he was able to find a job there. And from there, we stay in Newport, and we love Newport. It's very welcoming community, and the council has been very well, a great council, and what's great support. And I love this topic because, you know, it will give me the opportunity to talk a little bit about how I feel, you know, being part of the council, and the inclusion in the council and the city is amazing. I just want to share my experience, and I'm happy to be here. And my background is nursing in Mexico, but here I'm doing the nutrition program with the OSU. We have a nutrition program with the OSU Extension, and I do a lot of outreach and engagement in the community. That's my job, and I have been with the Extension for 20 years.
All right, well, thank you so much. I appreciate you being here. Okay, so why don't we get into some of the questions that we want to kind of discuss. And since you already have the floor, so to speak, Councilor, why don't you tell us what you believe diversity, equity, diversity, and inclusion really means? What does that mean to you in a few brief words?
For me, it means that we all are unique and with different backgrounds. We want to be treated with dignity, respect, and equally, and to be included and belong to a community. That is very important for me. I feel that's important part, to belong a community, and you know, that our voices that are heard. That's very important for my family and for us, you know, to be included in the planning and the decisions in the city, and that is the part that I understand, that diversity and equity inclusion.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Mayor Neiman, same question.
I think it boils down to two words.
Mm-hmm.
You matter, right? I think that every person of every race and every background wants to feel like they matter, and that they are significant, and they have a purpose, and other people have empathy for them in their circumstance of their background. And I think from a diversity and equity standpoint, in order to create a community where everyone can be together and united, that we needed to look at it through that lens.
Okay, all right, appreciate it very much. Mayor Letterby, same question.
Living in a small community as we are now in Madras, we're about the most diversified community in the state of Oregon. We have 1/3 Native Americans, we have 1/3 Latinos approximately, and 1/3 others. My idea of working together with the community, with all our different cultures and background, is that we work together as a team, as a family. We drop the racial barriers, we drop the ethnic barriers, and we come together and we communicate, understanding that we all have different viewpoints from different heritages, but we melt together as this country originally came to, a melting pot, and we work together to resolve issues, and everybody is welcome. Our residents are wonderful. We work hard to keep the communication going for everybody, but it's a daily battle, because people have their barriers up and they don't want to, they don't trust everybody, and I don't blame them for that. but we keep working on trying to break down those barriers. I'm very happy with our city council because it's right now the most diversified council that we've had in my 12 years with the city, which I think is wonderful. I got a statement a long time ago from people in Salem, because I was involved in Salem diversity and culture things there, and they were saying, well, you got a bunch of old white men sitting on the city council. And I said, well, you know, with the pay that they're paying us, that's about all that's applying. So, but now we're getting out there, we're getting more people involved, younger people involved, because, I mean, quite frankly, I'm pushing 70. So several of our members are also, so we need to get the younger generation in there, get their viewpoints, but work together as a team.
Absolutely. And what you just said sounds so much like what we're going through in King City. So, but I want to hear from Councilor Sagan Picard, and same question to you.
Yeah, this is very dear to my heart. As a healthcare leader, I see differences in healthcare outcome due to racial ethnicity and diversity. So for me, diversity is having a voice at the table, and equity is providing resources congruent to the needs of that individual person. Other people may have greater needs based on their socio-economic determinant factors. And finally, inclusion to me is not just having a voice at the table, but being heard and having the leaders implement what these voices that we've heard implement these recommendations. So that to me is my definition.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Let's go to question number 2. And I think you might have hit on it a little bit. When you talk about the demographics of your city, what are the demographics, those living, working, and socializing in your communities? Break it down a little bit if you can. Councilor, we'll just go right back to you. Councilor,
I'm sorry.
yeah.
Okay. The demographics of our city. So the city of Metolius is very small. We have about 780 people. And from the ethnic standpoint, we have probably close to 50% Hispanic and 50% everybody else, including myself. My family, unfortunately, is the only Filipino family in our community. But that's good because we're educating the community as to who we are. And from a age specific component or categories, I would say we have mostly people that are 50 and above, not too many younger generation there. So in fact, to Mayor Ladaby's point, we are really trying our best to diversify our council, because right now we have mostly white background in their 60s or 70s in the council.
Okay. All right. Mayor Ladaby, let's go back to you. Same question. You kind of talked about it a little bit and kind of broke it down.
Well, and from Candy's point of view, I have Candy's mother on the city council. So she is also a great resource, community member, very active in our community, which is wonderful. But our backgrounds are pretty much the same. We're an agricultural community with some industries. Brightwood is one of our biggest employers, but we have all sorts of backgrounds in here, but we're about a third of each. And with that, I know we had some issues earlier on in our school systems, and we worked through that about 5 to 10 years ago with the Native Americans coming and going to our schools here. But we've worked through those with the tribes. We're constantly working. Our police force is getting more diversified. Our city's diversified workers, our community, and everybody. The nice part, we're a little bigger than Metolius. We have about 6,500 people in our town. So we're a little bigger, but we're still small enough that everybody knows everybody.
Mhm.
And everybody talks openly, which is nice. When you go into the stores, they want to talk to the mayor. They want to talk to our city council. And if they got a concern, that we address it. We encourage them to come to our council, and we reach out to them and to our ministry, faith-based networks. And I love it here because we are small and we still can communicate. And coming from Salem and coming from San Francisco, LA, it's hard to have this type of feeling and being able to reach out to our members. And I think we're making progress, but we got a long ways to go. You know, it's not going to happen overnight.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. Mayor Neiman, same question. What's the demographics look like in your city?
Yeah, if I can, I'll try and pull up a slide that may help answer the question. So let me see if people can people see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So one of the here to this other slide. So I got two populations. These are from census statistics from 2010 that show the population demographic breakdown of Oregon as a state on the left-hand side, and Benton County, which is where Philomath is located, on the right-hand side. You know, I think as both a state and a county and as a city, we're predominantly white, with Asian and Pacific Islanders, Blacks and American Indian, respectively. So I think that's one of the challenges, I think, for us, with you know, with these types of statistics, that you know, in terms of having that discussion, and as well as the fact that we have a lot of, I think we have a lot of folks coming here to Oregon State University, which we're just 4 miles away from. And so we have a diversity coming from that standpoint as well. So I have this chart that breaks down Oregon State students and kind of the makeup associated with the diversity of Oregon State students themselves. Again, you see predominantly white, Hispanic and Latino, non-resident alien, Asian, Black and African American ethnicity, others. So, as well as the faculty itself. So the faculty teaching at Oregon State University, again, is predominantly white, Hispanic, Latino, Asian, and shows there. So I think it's important to kind of understand what those demographics look like as you're trying to have that conversation of marginalized or underrepresented groups, and how to make sure to promote them appropriately.
Yeah. Very good. Thank you for that. It's absolutely wonderful. Councilor Botello, same question. What are the demographics in your city look like? Oh, I think you're muted.
Okay.
Okay, there you go.
In Newport, the population is about 10,850 people, and the population, the majority is 81. About 80 is white, and the second group is Hispanic or Latino, 16%, and then we have the African American 2.3%, and we have very diverse group in Newport. We have Asian 1.8, American Native 1.4, and Native from Hawaiian or Island 0.7, and half of the population is about females, and about 60% speak other language, and the median age is about 45. And but the jobs that we have here is changing a little bit the population recently, because you know, the census probably is going to show coming, you know, just around the corner. it's going to show a totally different population and demographics, because our population is changing. We have more indigenous from South America and middle, from the Central America too, coming to this location, because we have the fish company, and we have the agriculture. So that's where a lot of people that are coming this location, because they are finding job and opportunities to stay. And we are kind of demographically, Newport has more Hispanic and Latinx than any other places here around Lincoln County. So I can say that's one of the reasons I feel like, the council and the city, decided to look also, some Latinx to be engaged in the council, because we are about 16% now.
Mhm.
And and I'm very happy that, it has been opportunities to participate in committees, and we're going to talk a little bit more later, the questions that are coming up about zone engagement and bringing diversity to the cities. And I can offer some information about that. And we have, this is a very tourist town also.
Yeah.
We have a lot of opportunities for jobs. We have a lot of hotels and vacation homes. So we have tourists coming to usually during summertime. So we have also restaurants and other business. So we have a very diverse business community. And also we have the college, OSU. Also we have the college, the Marine College, and we have the community college as well.
Okay, well, thank you for that. Just listen to it. I know as moderator, I'm listening to what everybody has to say, but really King City isn't a whole lot different from what you guys are talking about. We're at 89% white right now. But the encouraging thing is that we have increased the people of color population by 11% between 2000 and 2010. So we see an increase, and we are very pleased with what we see there. Now, the next question is, do you guys have any specific programs that you're working on in order to increase the diversity in your city, to increase the diversity on your council, and so on? Just talk a little bit about any kind of programs that you might have going on that is designed to improve the diversity within your cities. So Councilor Batella, why don't you go, since you were last?
So, I'm sorry, go right ahead.
Okay, we're just gonna go backwards.
Oh, okay. If you want to go first, that's no problem.
Well, since you have the floor.
So you can give me the opportunity to think more about it, Okay. So one of the Newport City Council, one of the areas that we have been working, and I'm very happy because that's the first part how I got there, is the Newport Vision 2040. And one of the things they have done with the Newport Vision 2040, they brought the community. So they had this open event where the community was involved. They have activities, they had childcare, they provide, times available for families to come like a later the day. And also they have like ethnic foods, they have activities for kids. So they have also like the recognition for the soccer team. So it was a community event, like a big celebration, but at the same time, bringing the community together and have the ideas together. That was a very good plan to have, because a lot of families, they come and give their ideas, but it was more like an open and welcoming event for everybody to come with their ideas. And I love the way, it was set up having the childcare provided. Sometimes I know that it's not an easy task, you know, to provide childcare, but having activities for the kids, that was very, very, very good. So more participation we have. And then from there, we have the plan, and then the committee has been involving, you know, from every part of the community, like, you know, from business, from, you know, from the Latino. They have 7 members, and they reserve time, you know, they reserve these committees at least one position open for the representation at the part of the community. And I think reserving that part is also very important, because sometimes, you know, there's some of the people, they don't know that they have an opportunity open for the Latinx, so people can see and start, you know, kind of observing, and then they can be included in the committee. So that's how I got, you know, the first time, as, you know, it was a very welcoming environment coming to the Vision. Then from there, you know, I learned more about the committees. Then I started getting more engaged with the council and getting, you know, comfortable. That was the thing. And having a mentor too, you know, having mentors with you is very important. If you are creating a diversity in your city, those mentors that are very important to have it, because, you know, especially being from minority, you know, I don't know everything, but, you know, if I have a mentor who can support me and cheer me, you know, I can get along, you know, and learning and having the community with me. So that was one of the areas that our city has doing. Another one is we have very diverse council. And then we have a homelessness task initiative that was from the community. The city started and now belongs more to the community. So the city started kind of establishing that task, and now there's a lot of participation from the whole community about this how to improve, you know, the homelessness. Now we have like from that task, now we have bathrooms available for the homelessness community in our community, and that was one of the things that was very important to the community. So now we have those available around the community, and also having bilingual information available, like a signage on the door, so that people can come and see, you know, certain hours, what days that are working, or what days, you know, having in bilingual information is very important. With the COVID, so we know all the doors that were closed for, you know, when we were in stage 1, right. But then I talked to the council, then I said, you know, a lot of people, they don't have cards to pay, or they don't have checks. So we have to make hours accessible, working hours, so that people can come and pay. So the city established some time, an open time for the Latinx or other individuals that don't have a way to pay. They open a couple hours, like a Tuesdays and Thursdays, so the families they knew or the individuals they knew, they can come and pay. And also there's several things that we have been working, but I'm gonna say another couple more, and I'm gonna stop. On February, we have a police forum. I talked to the chief. I feel like our community, they are very afraid, you know. That's one of the things that I feel, and I talk to people, my community is very afraid of many things. It's not only the police, there's several things. And so, so we had this forum. I talked to the chief and also the sheriff. They both came, and we had an open forum where families, they came. We have about 40 families. We have activities for the kids. We have food. So the police and the chief, they had the opportunity to talk about how they look like, their uniforms, you know, the families that were so interested, and the individuals that were so interested about their uniform, how it looks like, and what is their job, what they're asked when they stop people. So questions like that, and the people, they feel very comfortable asking those questions. I can tell the families, they were open, what can I do after I had been pulled, and from there, we are planning more community meetings but with the COVID, we are trying to find ways to improve that. And so then also the city has a committee, is the sister city, the Japanese MOPSI, I cannot say it right. They have been sisters, and they interchange, like a cultural exchanges, youth and adult, and they have a committee, and they have 6 positions. So it's supporting, bringing kids, young people to our community from Japanese, and also young people go from here to Japanese to experience the culture. That's another committee with our city. Okay. And also we have a bilingual newsletter. It's an e-blast, and we put all the information that's happening in the city. So that is new. So we can share around the city. Well, there are several things. I just want to stop.
You guys have a lot going on. And, this is wonderful. And, obviously you guys have given a lot of thought, and you're working on a lot of wonderful things for your city. But we'll move on to Mayor Niemann. Same question to you. Any programs specifically designed to improve diversity in your city?
Sure. I'll share another quick slide if I can. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Just put it in. One of the things that we started, I guess back in July, was an inclusivity committee, and the intent behind it was to start the discussion around how to become an anti-racism community, right? And so we kind of used this as a little bit of a framework of different courses of how to approach that narrative and that conversation, right? Where maybe in a more comfortable setting, you're not quite sure what to say, or you're worried that you'll be called out because you'll say something wrong, and it won't make a difference if I say anything anyway. And I don't want to get involved in politics. I don't have the time, right? That's a pretty normal approach, I think, to people in racism, right? And so we pushed ourselves as a community to kind of take this path on the right-hand side of growth and courage, right? Where we said, first, I will listen, I will read, watch, I will speak against injustice, right? And I think the most important thing for our community was an acknowledgement here in the second bubble that I will make mistakes, no doubt about it, and I will be grateful for the lesson, right? I attribute a discussion around racism in a community setting to me much like new dance partners on the dance floor, right? There's a likelihood you're going to step on each other's toes. You're going to make the wrong move. You're going to say the wrong thing. You're going to offend somebody or hurt someone. And I think you need to have a level of openness to have that type of discussion. And all those happened, I think, while we tried to work together to make a inclusivity resolution. You have to be a bit of a risk taker, I think, to have this discussion in your community. And it's a human rights issue. This matters, and I think you have to be committed to take the time to have these discussions. So we had 2 or 3 inclusivity meetings in late June, early July, at which point we came up and worked through as a community. I had 2 city councilors, myself as the mayor, and really anybody who was interested in participating attend and help to wordsmith and create an inclusivity resolution that we developed. And maybe I'll just read the whereases, could give you enough of a sense of what we as a community were able to establish from this process. Whereas Philomath strives to be a city based on mutual respect and understanding, part of a community that welcomes and values all residents, treating everyone with human dignity and respect. Whereas all people, regardless of race, color, ethnicity, national origin, religion, disability, sex, gender expression, gender identity, sexual orientation, mental status, or age, live and work together with Philomath and bring pride to our community. And whereas racism, intolerance, bigotry, and fear lead to discrimination and discord, which threatens the health, safety, and resiliency of our community. And whereas the City of Philomath welcomes all people who recognize the rights of individuals to live their lives with dignity, free of racism, discrimination, intolerance, bigotry, and hostility. And from that, there's a number of things that we've resolved to do, but part of that, I think, has been manifested in just a couple things that I'll share. One is we have our Benton County History Museum located here. It's also part of our seal that you see here. An interesting story behind it is 75 years ago, this tower was used to spot incoming Japanese aircraft during World War II. And more recently, it opened an exhibit about Japanese incarceration camps and internment camps, right? And how people were rounded up and kept in these camps. That's an educational history about racism that's very relevant and in line with people having an understanding. The last thing I'll share is that we've also reached out to an organization called Oregon Black Pioneers that's located in Salem. And they really focus on Oregon Black history between 1840 and 1870 to really give people an understanding of that time period and being Black in Oregon during that time period. And it's important for people to have an understanding of what that is. So next Tuesday, we're going to have a Facebook Live session. You're certainly all invited to it if you'd like. I can send the information later. To have Miss Gwen Carr from Oregon Black Pioneers talk to our community about that subject. So back to you, Mayor Gibson.
Okay. Okay, can you, oh, there you go. Okay, listen, I know that we have so much to talk about, and I know that we're running down around 10 minutes. So I still want to hear from Mayor Lideby and also from Councilor Conga Picard. So, but we're going to have to make it a little bit briefer. I know we have so much to talk about, but maybe one more question after this, and then we're going to have to wrap up. But this is just absolutely wonderful, and I can see that the size of the city has nothing to do with how much is going on in order to address this very, very important issue. So, Mayor Lideby, why don't you tell us a little bit about, maybe a little more briefly if you can.
Not a problem. I understand timeframes.
Yes.
What our city's done in the past, we had a coalition called Let's Talk Diversity Coalition. And that was a training that we gave to our community free of charge. Our law enforcement, our counselors, citizens were all able to join in and learn this 4-hour class. There was 3 sessions. So that was going very well. And unfortunately, and I may offend some people here, and I apologize ahead of time, but once President Trump was elected, that coalition turned from their mission and educating people to politics. In my opinion, and that's only my opinion, diversity should have no boundaries on the politics. We should work together on both sides to work on the issue, not politically. Yeah. Our faith-based community is very strong, working with the Latino population in Warm Springs. We have Latino Fest, we have Warm Springs festivals. We all come together as one community, working together. So what else? We have Facebook pages that also, that is translated into Spanish. And the chamber also translates all their stuff into Spanish to help our community. There's a lot we got going on. There's a lot we do, but the main issue should not be politically driven, motivated. It should be working for our community, for all our residents. And that's my personal feeling, because when you start dividing political stuff, then you're not accomplishing anything. It's a he said, she said. Let's work together to get what we want, our common goal, and that is to make a vibrant, bright community where everybody is welcome and everybody feels that they're a part of it. That's my 2 cents worth.
Mayor, I couldn't agree with you more. Thank you so much. Okay, Councilor Kanga.
I echo Mayor Ladaby's comment on that. We are right next to Madras, and whatever Madras is doing, we support them. And so thank you so much, Mayor Ladaby. And one last thing for us, I would like to thank our city mayor, Carl Elliott, and council president, Patty Weiler, for really embracing this year diversity representation in our council. To that end, our council appointed a young Latinx female in the person of Emma Orieta Reynoso as a member of our city council. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Because we're running out of time, I think it would be appropriate for each one of you to kind of give final words on where you think everything is headed and the things that you will be focused on from this day forward. And I think it would be important for us to hear that from each one of you. So, Councilor Kanga, why don't you go first?
My final words to all the members of the City Council here in Oregon is first do a self-reflection and an inventory of your City Council. Ask yourselves, who is not at the table? Who are we missing? And we need to go out there and have each sector of our community be represented so that they feel included, they have a voice at the table, and together we can make a difference. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Mayor Ladaby.
Well, the final word is we're going to continue doing what we have done in our city. We have a good working relationship with our community. Yes, it can get better. Our law enforcement's very supportive. Our religious leaders are very supportive. And, you know, to say we're doing something wrong, I think we're doing the best we can with the knowledge we got, and we want to continue moving forward and not think that we've reached the finish line. There's always that line to go further. And as long as we keep reaching to making ourselves better, we'll continue being better. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Councilor Patello.
As I'm going to say, as a Councilor Picard, you know, one of the things is observe your community. What is, you know, the demographics is very important. Get engaged in your community. Look where opportunities, you know, to open up your meetings. Make those meetings accessible to times that the community can participate. And also, one of my dreams is that budgets, they reserve money for diversity, you know, like a bilingual, like maybe a fraction of those budgets, you know, they can reserve some money for diversity. And you know, the cities, we have more opportunities to have diversity committees. Like the mayor of Madras said, you know, it's very important to have diversity committees in the cities, and having more people engaged in decisions that are happening at that level, you know. And I'm very happy to have a mentor. My mentor, I want to say thank you to CM Hall. She has been my mentor, has been supporting me. And I think it's very important to say that she has done a lot of work in my community too. And I'm there because, you know, she has been working very hard to make that change in our community. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Mayor Neiman.
Okay, 3 quick points. I think one is start the narrative. Don't be afraid to start the discussion. 2, don't be afraid to make mistakes, right? You're not going to grow in this area if you're not willing to make those mistakes. And 3 is to listen. I think some of the best learning that I've had in my couple years as mayor has been listening to different people from different ethnic backgrounds, understanding what their experience has been, and really having empathy for some of the challenges that they've faced.
Okay, well, thank you all so much. Your cities are fortunate and blessed to have you as leaders. And I know that they're going to be better because of your leadership. And there is no one correct answer. There's no one correct approach. We all are going to have our specific challenges, but we're all driving in the same direction in order to make our cities inclusive, welcoming, and the best place for all people. And I think we're going to get there. It's going to take a while because there are going to be other things that we're going to have to deal with along the way. But I'm confident with this kind of leadership that I see on this conference right now will get us there. So hopefully every one of you will be around for a while to see this through. So, you know, you can't give it up yet. No retirement. We can't talk about retirement. So thank you all so much. Much appreciated. And you guys stay safe, and we look forward to some better air quality in the very near future. Thank you so much.